today we're gonna talk about, because I'm not gonna really react, because like once again, lack of sleep. I don't want to like waste too much time talking about this, because there's not really much to talk about in my personal opinion. We're gonna start off by talking about yesterday's state of play. Yesterday, because I was gonna react to, because it was like, I don't know what's with event. Ow. With the any of these like kind of like showcase things, whether these Nintendo's, Sony's, they always say a set minute, but then they're over that set minute. Like Nintendo's one was like an hour, but it was actually an hour and 3 minutes. Sony's was supposed to be 35 minutes, but it's 40 minutes. So I was like, I'm just gonna watch this as I have breakfast in the morning, and we'll talk about it. And let's actually switch over, because I have it up on here, because there's like only like a couple of things that I personally want to talk about that I was interested in. But it's as I thought with this showcase. As I said yesterday, it was going to be mostly stuff we already knew about, and date releases for those things, and a couple of new stuff. But the stuff that piqued at least my interest, because they start off with Solaris, which is like, never really been all that into those house mark games, but you know, more power to people who like those. The first one, I think, we'll stop the music for now. Was this
year.
Was this Deus Ex, the original one as a remaster, and judging from it, because we're just gonna thumb through this, and then we're gonna play Metal Gear, obviously. Was like, it's definitely like a let's see what like as they show like here.
This PS5 remaster is
it's like just it literally is, they just like the pretty up the graphics being more or less the same thing. This one was interesting to me the most, because I do love I think like many people's first introduction into this franchise was the Human Revolution, which came out 14 years ago now. Yeah, about 14 years ago. And then there was Mankind Divided, which came out 9 years ago, which is maybe that's why they're doing this, because the remaster, if I remember correctly, let's just
classics about young couples and
what was the date release?
Deus Ex No 2 Live early next.
Yeah, February. One thing I also noticed on this state of play as well was the fact that almost everything that had a confirmed date for next year were all before May. I wonder why. Could it be because they're trying to avoid next year's going to be interesting for game releases, because we might end up. You alright, buddy? What you doing? I want some attention right now. We might end up having the beginning of next year being filled with more games than normal, and then most other stuff not coming out until like months after that. It could be like, it's like next year for gaming is going to be very interesting, because there's a good chance that the entire year. Oh shit, I forgot about the position. I keep forgetting when we do this. I gotta remember to remove my background. Sorry, because it's not really ideal for this. I mean, I could full screen it, but it's much easier. I remember to do this. There we go. Now you can see. Oh, not quite centered. Hang on. God. There we go. I can always put it back. Okay. That's the entire, because GTA 6 is supposed to come out May 26th next year. Supposedly, we'll see what happens. We could end up having a year where there's barely games during the summer, because I feel like we could have lots of stuff coming out at the beginning of next year. Then from like, I feel like May to August, barely anything, at least in the AAA space, because that's how long I think the GTA like thing would last. At least that's how it felt for me with GTA 5. Like I think 2-3 months after the game came out, I was like, I'm good. I'm all GTA'd out. That was at least me personally. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But that was one of those. It looks good. It looks interesting. We might play it on stream. It depends how I feel by February. But then the next one, because like I said, there's a lot of stuff here. Like there was the Sonic stuff where they just showed the Mega Man stuff, which was already leaked, because a lot of people got their copies early, and the slip in it showed the the DLC. The next one for me personally,
It is I who will be Shogun.
I'm gonna try and like load this down so I can like properly talk over this. But I said this before, like Neo was the first franchise, first like Souls like I ever got into, and I fucking love it. My brain's dead. I'm sorry. And like many people, I was waiting for them to announce the third entry, because the last one was 2021, so this would be 5 years after that, and it just looks awesome. Like, I'm excited for it. But I was interested to see where the story goes, because now I know, because like Neo is one of those games where it's not like a fantasy setting based off of mythology. It's set in specific history in Japan, but with fantasy stuff. And the second one ends up being like a prequel set before the first one. So I was like, how are they going to do this one? Because they want to keep it in this same period of time. And it looks like it's going to be time traveling stuff. Which I love a good time traveling mechanic. We're going to see how that plays out. But that's February as well. So like I said, a lot of these are coming out early this year. But we're definitely playing it out on stream. Like I said, I love them. Because for me, Neo is one of those Souls-likes that the reason I stuck with it is because they're not easier, but they add mechanics in it to make it manageable. It's why I enjoyed Black Myth Wukong yesterday, because it was very similar to having mechanics that they make the game easier but manageable. One of the good examples that both games, the first two games, had this was type of like if you remember, it was like Oni magic, and you had this thing called like a sloth talisman, which slowed down an enemy for a short period of time, which was a great way of dealing with fast enemies. So gonna look forward to this. Gonna be definitely playing that. And the last thing, which wasn't necessarily surprised they were going to announce. There was the PlayStation. There was actually one more thing. There was the PlayStation update where they announced for October they're gonna have Alan Wake 2. It's kind of funny for me because I have Alan Wake 1 because of PlayStation Plus, and I haven't got around to playing it. And it's just, and now I will play it at some point, but now I can have 2 and technically get it for free. And I just think that was the same thing what happened with Little Nightmares 1 and 2. It shows why it's good to be patient sometimes. Before we get to the most obvious one, the other thing was just like the God of War one, like they like. Let me show this. Because I was like, oh, it's God of War. It's like, I mean, it's an alright controller. But I was like, that's it? Really? Not a port, or at least a remaster of the first 2 games, with the third one being remastered? No? We're almost at the end of this year, and this is what we get for. Oh, it annoys me. Sony just has all these IPs. Even IPs have old games, and they're just like, yeah, we're not going to do fuck all with them. I still like haven't hold out hope that maybe they are doing like proper full remakes of the first 2 games, and it's not going to be ready until next year. That's why I'm hoping, but I'm not expecting. Okay, and the last thing was this, which I will leave playing whilst I talk over this. Was the Wolverine game, which I was surprised they were going to show gameplay, because I said that there's a good chance it's just going to be cinematics and some gameplay, but it was a lot of in between with it, a lot of like gameplay sparsed in with cinematics. It looks good. It's just like, it's really hard to tell for like these slices of gameplay, because one of my worries with this was like, is it just going to be Spider-Man, combat gameplay wise, but you're Wolverine? And it isn't like this moment here, like the leaping and jumping about makes you think of like Spider-Man when you do that. It feels like Batman's Arkham Complex, where you're more heavy and you're more, tank like. Which once again not a bad thing. It looks good, but it's like this. I hope when it does come out that it feels more different than Spider-Man, because I don't want just Wolverine, but it's similar to Spider-Man. Because I mean they're going for the brutality. I will say something though. Some of this reminds me of like a more detailed. Okay, actually, hang on. Let me just. There's one thing that does worry me though, and it's this. This worries me is because it looks like it's going to be open world. And I've said this before, I am tired of everything being open world or open zones. I'm hoping it's just going to be a linear game. If it is open world, I just hope it's not. Because the point I have a lot of games that do these is that it's not done because they want to make this sprawling, detailed, whatever the fuck it is. It's because they want to pad out the game's runtime. We talked about this before, but the Indiana Jones game we played earlier this year, those overworld stuff didn't need to be there. It felt like it ran out the game's runtime, and there was no fast traveling, and it was just a slog to get across. If there's fast traveling or it's like quick to get across the map, I'm okay with that. But just Void it isn't, because I just want a fucking linear game for once. Because this works so good just as a linear game with slightly opened areas, but not like open zones, maybe. Seeing this shot makes you work, because that could just be a backdrop. Because the Uncharted 4 was like, we had these like, you'd see so much, but it wasn't like open. There was one like open zoned area, but the gameplay reminds me of like a more detailed version of that X-Men Origins Wolverine game, which I played the demo of when that came out, but never got around to playing. I was thinking, because one thing I was right about, we said this yesterday, that's like, this feels like a fall game. It feels like it's going to come out in the autumn, and it is. It's going to be the fall. It just felt like it to me for some reason. Because the fact that the first teaser trailer we saw of this was, 2021, and now we're getting game, cinematics spliced in with gameplay. I do like the look of the yellow suit though, and it's probably gonna be like those. Do you know what would be like really cool though? If they add suits from like the movies like they did with Spider-Man, I'd love to see like the 2000s like X-Men movies. Yes, it's full. The only thing I will say is when we watch the overhaul stuff, because just to go into details, I hate the fact they had to go, the graphics are so detailed, we got this new blood, like, so what? Like, I'm so sick of this, them talking about this. Gameplay, for fuck's sake. I don't care about the innovation in detail. I appreciate that you do this, but detail shouldn't be at the cost of gameplay. Detail should be after you've done the gameplay. The fact that they spent time talking about that's what worries me a little bit more, because it's just going to be, I don't mean to be like a down on this. It looks good, it looks amazing, but with AAA games these days, I'm just less excited, because like most of the times they're either just okay, or there's no innovation in the gameplay part of it. There's no like, oh my god, this feels different from what I've played before. And with this, it's like I said, it's hard to tell for like a few slices of gameplay. It looks like it's a little different from Spider-Man's combat. It's in my books, but I am at least intrigued. I'm more intrigued than excited. I'm gonna wait until they show more. I'm just praying it's not open world. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm praying, fingers crossed, that it's not open world and open zone. I'm sick of every game being like that. The one thing I do hate is that I'm hoping against hope that Insomniac doesn't just turn into the Marvel Studio games, because like their games are really great and really fun to play, but I like to see them do other stuff. So if you want them to, which I think is insulting to other development teams, it's like saying, "Oh, fuck everyone else to give them a chance to play. Let's just give one studio God knows how many years of doing this." But yeah, that aside, that was all that was least that piqued my interest from this. I'd give it like a solid 7. I'd say 7 or 8. Like, it's good, but not like, oh my god, it's amazing. Because like Wolverine was like given there was going to be shown, so it wasn't like a shock when it was here. And I wasn't surprised about it being like November. Like I said, the only thing I will say I was surprised was the fact that they actually showed gameplay, because I was half expecting just cinematics and maybe like 1 second of gameplay, kind of similar to Naughty Dog's next game, which is not Interstellar, it's Intergalactica, where it showed cinematics, but it showed like 1 second of gameplay. But like I said, with AAA games, I hold my excitement until like the game's out and I'm playing it, because it's not like I'm not gonna play it. I'm gonna probably play it and have some fun time with it. But like, I'm probably more out of what's outside. I'm probably more excited for, I'd say, Neo 3, because like I said, I love Neo. I mean, it makes sense. Like, when you love a franchise, you're going to be more excited for the next entry into something that's completely new. But yeah, that was like, just making sure there wasn't anything else. Yeah, there wasn't like anything else that was like, oh, that's interesting to me. But yeah, that's basically it.